Hello everybody and welcome to Asgard. So I'm currently doing another out and about, though this one's going to be a pretty short one. I'm just going to one Best Buy today. I'm going to be checking to see if the Captain Marvel sales are increasing or improving at all. So I actually stopped by a Best Buy a couple days ago, and sure enough, there were a crap ton of 4K discs left, a crap ton of Blu-ray discs still left, and the only movies that seemed to be selling at all were the DVDs, but even then there were still a crap ton of those left. And so the last time that I went to this store, they still had a full stack of Steelbooks, which again are collectibles, which means if those aren't selling, that collectors aren't interested, and if collectors aren't interested, it usually is a pretty good indication that if the rest of the copies aren't selling either, that collectors don't want it, main public doesn't want it, and therefore not a whole lot of people want it in the first place. But the first thing I want to do is give a huge shout out to my man Bruce. Bruce sent me The Man Who Killed Don Quixote, which was a Terry Gilliam film, and he saw it, wasn't a crazy fan of it, and so decided that because I wanted to see it still, to send it to me. So once again, Bruce, thank you so much. Your generosity truly is amazing, and I really do greatly appreciate just how generous you have been in the past by sending me Blu-rays that I don't have and movies that I haven't seen. So thank you so much for that, man. But anyway, I'm gonna be heading to this Best Buy. I'm gonna try and film in there as much as I possibly can. Obviously, you guys know I'm kind of nervous about filming inside stores and such, but I will keep you guys posted, and I will see y'all in a little bit. So as you guys can see, there are full rows still of the Blu-ray. 4K seems to be selling a little bit, though they seem to have reduced the content here as well. But Steelbooks are almost completely here. So remember, this has been out for several weeks now, while Pet Sematary just came out, and there's only 3 copies of their Steelbook left. So I think that speaks volumes as to whether people are buying this film or not. And I was pointing out, as you can see, the DVD is selling okay. Still a crap ton of Blu-rays, and even more of the Steelbooks that, again, no one's buying. Ridiculous. So as you guys can see, the Blu-ray is still really not selling all that well. I will say there were less 4K copies than have been in there, but seeing that the last couple weeks they have been filled to the brim, and only now are there like some copies that are being sold, and it's been out already for several weeks at this point. Well, you have brand new releases, for example, like Pet Sematary, which look like they've been, picked apart. It really does speak a lot to me about this film. Now, some people have been trying to say is, oh, well, you can't account for sales online, or oh, you can't account for digital sales, etc. Well, here's the thing. If people aren't buying them in stores, it's usually a pretty good indication that they're also not really buying them online either. Because the people arguing saying, oh, well, you know what, that's just because it's selling well online. Well, then explain to me how other films that are being released, newer releases, for example, Pet Sematary, which did not get rave reviews, is selling so much better at this point in time, including their collectible Steelbook, compared to other copies. Because also, what I found in there was there are still plenty of copies left for the brand new Marvel releases on 4K for the Steelbook editions, but there are other films like Us, for example, that have maybe 2 total copies left at this point, which means that they're either not putting a lot out because they don't have a lot there, or anything that they do put out is being picked up. And so I think that it's still something worth talking about, and I still think it's something that many people who are, leaving criticism on these videos are really just failing to recognize and rather just choosing to ignore instead. But once again, I want to give a huge shout out again. I already, gave him a shout out earlier, but I do want to give a shout out once again to Bruce. Thank you so much for sending me this Blu-ray. So again, this is The Man Who Killed Don Quixote. This is a Terry Gilliam film. He was trying to make this film for years and years and years and just never could. And finally he was able to put it together. So that might be one of the reasons why it might not be the best film that he's ever done, because it was something that he was trying to do for so long. But Jonathan Pryce is in this. Adam Driver's in this. They've got a very good cast all around, and I'm very excited to check it out myself. And obviously I can't wait to have time to be able to check it out. But guys, what are y'all's thoughts about this? Have you seen similar things? I know that Rosetta Allen has shown me pictures from her Best Buy. I know that JJ, my boy JJ, has sent me pictures from his Best Buy as well, and he's showing me how there are still plenty of copies, not just of the Steelbook, but of the 4K and the Blu-ray as well, because I honestly don't believe that many people are buying it. That's why I can't wait to get actual figures, because that will, of course, lay to rest all of this. And if the figures show that it's one of the best-selling Marvel films ever, and that it's beating every Marvel film, etc., and it's doing so well, then obviously I will, of course, mea culpa, and I admit when I'm wrong. But until that happens, all I can do is base this off of what I'm seeing in the stores, what I'm seeing from the actual marketplace itself. Because even if it's trending, even if it's ranked as #1 on Amazon or wherever, that doesn't mean anything, because that's something that can easily be manipulated. That's something where they don't tell you the actual figures of how many souls, how many souls have been sold, how many sales have actually been, taking place. And so that really means nothing to me. The stores is a lot harder to fake it. It's a lot harder to say that a movie isn't doing well when you have so many copies still left over when there are other films that have been either released at the same exact time or have been released newer that are much more slim pickings, that are something that have been, you know, there's been so many more copies sold. And I think that to me speaks volumes as to how this film is doing overall. And when you already have them announcing that she's going to get 5 more movies, that we're going to see Brie Larson in 5 more Captain Marvel films, and we have all this other stuff going on, that to me says they're not actually listening to what fans actually want or what audiences actually want. They're looking at that $1 billion they made with Captain Marvel and thinking to themselves, oh, that's because a lot of people wanted to see Captain Marvel. Failing to recognize that it was people wanting to see the movie because they thought it was going to tie in with Endgame, or at least people who have said, oh, I've seen the movies the last 10 years, I need to continue to see it because I'm a completionist, and how very few of them are actually people that love the movie so much that they're willing to buy it. That's the big thing. Yeah, it made $1 billion at the box office, but how many of those people, and that's why I wish that they would release individual ticket sales and not just the actual total amount that a movie makes, because I think ticket sales tell you a greater story. But how many of those people that bought tickets are going out of their way to buy it on a collectible steelbook, or buying it on 4K, or buying it on Blu-ray? That is something that to me seems to show a very different side of the story, and that's why I'm continuing to cover this, and that's why I will continue to cover this. Now, obviously, I wish that I could do my normal video where I'm covering all of the other movie releases that are coming out this week. I just don't really have the time to do so, and I am starving, and it's time for me to grab some food. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Thank you so much for everything. Please smash the like button, hit that subscribe. It helps me out a lot. You are all amazing and beautiful people. Have a wonderful day. Shout out to Bruce. Shout out to JJ, who's allowing me to continue to do my giveaways, and thank you guys so much. Have a wonderful day, and as always, God bless.